So I was at this spiritual retreat in Mount Shasta, California for a few days in April. I was looking for something meaningful in my life. The retreat was pretty awesome. Our days were packed with meditation, hiking, deep talks by the fire, and lots of thinking. But something wasn't sitting right with me. I'm kind of an adventure junkie, so I couldn't not go off exploring the wild around us. And took a low-key trail so I wouldn't bump into anyone. I mean, we could go it alone, no rules against it, but everyone here always moved in a herd. Don't get me wrong, they were all cool. I just needed some me time. Walked this path and couldn't help but notice it was freakishly quiet. Took this trail for some peace and quiet, and it was totally empty. No people, no animals, nothing. The only sounds were my boots on the rocky path and the wind through the trees. At first, it was kind of cool. It was dead quiet, kind of freaky. Started feeling like I was losing it, like someone was watching me. Felt like I was being hunted. Stopped and looked around on the trail but didn't see anything weird. Thought I might be tripping from all the fresh air, or maybe those morning meditation chants were still making me spaced out. Couldn't shake off the weird feeling. I just knew something was off. Then, out of nowhere, there's this rustling from the bushes. Scared the hell out of me. I jumped right away. So, I'm a city kid and didn't really know the local critters around here. Figured it was just a local guy, but boy was I creeped out. I mean, squirrels and raccoons are one thing, but being in the wilds gave me the jitters. I was really hoping for a deer or some chill animal to pop out. I wish I could have just laughed off my overreaction and moved on. But nope. Heard that creepy noise again and turned around. Saw something nightmare fuel level freaky that's gonna stick with me for a long time. Saw some weird flash near the bushes. Looked like a mirror or lost jewelry. But on closer look, turned out it was actually eyes. Creepy as hell. So I'm walking up, and this beastie starts backing off, then just freezes and stares me down. We're in this face-off for what felt like forever, but was probably just a few seconds. You won't believe it, but the thing in the bushes was like a Godzilla-sized gecko, like golden retriever big. Wild, right? This thing was all sorts of colorful, mostly red, but with splashes of yellow and green too. The crazy bit? It also had feathers around its neck and down its back. Looked like it had wings on its front, but maybe it was just flashy feathers. Who knows? Still can't figure out what it was, but damn, it looked pretty dino-like for real. Saw this lizard creature eyeballing me before he booked it into some bushes. I'm there gawking at empty space like a dope. I'm still freaking out. Where the heck did that thing pop from? Some Jurassic Park refugee or what? So did some nutty scientist brew this up in a lab or what? I'm betting yes. I mean, come on, a dinosaur hiding all this time? Nah, I reckon it's some whack Jurassic Park experiment gone wrong. No proof here, just my story about what I saw in the woods. I was alone on that trail for who knows how long before I got back to camp. Didn't tell anyone about what happened. I mean, who'd believe me? Sounds crazy, right? Was with some chill folks who'd normally be down for weird stuff. But who'd believe dinosaurs are still chilling around these days? Wish I hadn't seen that thing, though. Left me with too many unanswered questions. Like, where the heck did it come from anyway? Where's it been hanging out? Are there more of these things? Did some Googling and found some cool stuff. Seems like others have seen something similar, like a dinosaur or some sort of lizard monster thing. Mostly in the southwest US. Used to solo hike a lot, not so much now after a scary encounter. Seriously, it's changed how I hike completely. I'm way more cautious and yep, I pack heat now. Guns are a hot topic among hikers. Some think you don't need one if you're clever and stick to the rules. Others reckon it's better to be safe than sorry, and there are those who'd never go hiking without, because bears and mountain lions couldn't give two hoots about rules. I've always packed bear spray just in case, but a gun is next level. Life, eh? Used to think I didn't need a gun while hiking. That totally changed after one wild experience. Now, I need a gun anytime I'm in the woods. Also, my belief that there's nothing weird in the woods? Gone. Now I'm convinced there's definitely some strange stuff out there. Oh, and I'm from Northern California, by the way. When you hear California, you probably picture surfers, the Pacific, and liberals. But my part of Cali is nothing like that. No surfers and no liberal vibe. I'm from Northern California. It's pretty remote with lots of mountains. We're a bit old school and prefer keeping things traditional. I'm on the younger side and kinda have issues with the old school lifestyle, but I do see some sense in it. My grandpa was the first one to introduce me to the great outdoors, and I fell head over heels for it. Oh, and he always had a gun on him now that I think about it. Since it's all very traditional here, there are tons of stories. People still remember that footage from the 70s that made the news. I live in Grayling, miles away from where it was shot, but folks still gab about it like it happened next door. I used to think they were just campfire tales or bedtime stories to scare kids into behaving. Had a rough work week and needed to escape. Decided to go hiking and camping in a nearby canyon for some peace and quiet. Lose cell service to gain perspective, as those cheesy tourist t-shirts say. Planned to hike a few miles out and just chill by myself. So there's this canyon, Big Pine Canyon, named cause of its broad forested base. Great camping spot, super underrated. Locals have been hush-hush, so tourists are basically clueless about it. All I did was park my truck and hiked. Nothing exciting really happened. Just had a chilled time appreciating the solitude of the valley. Got to the trail, no one around, no cars, nada. Set up my camp, lit a fire, and crashed. Peaceful night. From wake up, it was just pure chaos. I woke up to a knocking sound, like some big stick thumping against a tree. Normally, I just shrug and chalk it up to forest being forest. There's always weird noises out there. But this one was different. It was happening every few minutes, clockwork. This knocking didn't feel random, but more like it was on purpose. Definitely wasn't a stick snapping and way too loud for a woodpecker. It was freaky, stopping and starting every few minutes. Started packing up my gear because I wasn't keen on meeting whatever was out there. On my way back, the knocking just wouldn't quit. It even felt like it was following me. I was basically hauling down the trail and something was definitely on my tail. And the thing was, it was knocking, almost like it wanted me to know it was right behind me. Kept looking back on the trail, trying to spot what was making this weird noise. Once I hit the open area near the end, I finally saw it. As I looked back one more time, there was this huge shadow just at the edge of the woods. Saw something insanely big, like 9 feet tall, shaped like a man but way too massive. It was holding a hefty branch and started smashing tree branches above its head. I booked it to the car the moment it started that, so I've been speed hiking. Now I'm sprinting, hoping my clunky hiking boots don't send me flying on the rough trail. Didn't look back, just heard the warning. Get out! Haven't been to Big Pine Canyon since some critter definitely owns that turf and I was clearly intruding. Got a warning to bail, not about to push my luck. Summer 2017, stuck in the Texas heat, working as a park ranger at Palo Duro Canyon State Park. Spent most of my time saving lost campers or dealing with messes from eager junior scouts. This one day I'll never forget, all thanks to Jimmy. Billy's kid from the supply tent somehow managed to trap a family of raccoons in a trash can. Again. Heard some weird squeals in the canyon and couldn't help cracking up. It's just another day of weirdness and sunburn for me. When I heard the first rumors of some odd creature nearby, I pretty much brushed it off. Probably just some tourists freaking out over a coyote or a stray dog. So as a park ranger, I gotta deal with weird stuff, especially when I need an escape from Jimmy's dumb antics. Spent the rest of my day doing usual ranger stuff like checking fire safety, fixing trails, and telling lost tourists where to go. Everyday drill, basically. So, as the sun was setting in Texas, I got a call on the radio about some weird creature a couple spotted near their campsite in Hackberry. Not sure what it could be. Panther, bear, or maybe a bobcat? Strange, since we don't normally have those sorts of issues around here. Headed over to check it out. So I learned from working outside, never say never. I roll up near Hackberry as night falls. Just got a flashlight and a bunch of ranger know-how for company. The sounds of bugs and whatever animal is out there is kind of comforting, kind of freaky. This place reeked worse than anything I'd smelled during my service years. Think rotten meat mixed with wet dog and a dash of burnt rubber. Weird, especially in the middle of the woods. The smell was just everywhere, like it somehow got into the ground in the morning air. While I was checking out the forest, I heard this low growl coming from a bunch of Joshua trees. It was too loud and different to be any regular wild animal noise. Made me stop in my tracks. Felt like I was entering some freaky, uncharted land. The whole vibe was super ominous. Came across some weird clues while moving forward. Big boot-like paw prints and broken twigs way too high up for any small creatures. Came to this freaky tree and the growling got worse. By then, my ranger cockiness had faded, replaced by an "oh shoot, I gotta survive" kind of feeling. Almost bounced, but curiosity nailed me. No gun, just me sneaking closer. Shining my light about, boom, there was this thing. Like 7 feet tall, felt grizzly-sized. But weirdly, kind of shaped like a man, too. This thing was super beefy and covered in dark fur. It had strong thighs, broad shoulders, and long, scary claws that caught my flashlight's beam. Its face looked like a freaky mix of a human and a dog, with glowy yellow eyes that bore into mine. It was like it was both man and animal. We locked eyes, and it's as if it was sizing me up. I froze, face to face with the infamous dogman of local Texas legend. I can't say how long we stared each other down, but suddenly its bone-chilling howl snapped me out of it. Trust me when I say, it makes the hair on your neck stand. So this creature bolted into the trees like nothing else, knocking over everything. The place was instantly quiet except for my heavy breathing. I was left in the dark, scared as hell, and wondering whether I was going bonkers. I mean, did I really see a creature, or did I just imagine it? What on earth would I even say to the other campers? So here's the deal, I didn't exactly play the hero. Forgot about mentioning the dog man. Warned them about a mountain lion instead. Worked like a charm. Honestly, who would have believed the dog man bit, right? None of my bosses or buds knew about it. Never saw that thing again, but I'm sure it's still chilling somewhere in the desert. Honestly, I'm no outdoorsy guy. I'm just a plumber dealing with the usual stuff. But sometimes you gotta escape the city filth and smell of sewage. So there I was, a city plumber, chilling in Lake Tahoe, Nevada. All I heard was some waves hitting my rental boat and a random bird squawking now and then. Chilling out here is weirdly soothing, you know? Even though it's a bit cloudy, it's the perfect weather for me. Just stopped rowing for a moment to soak in the peaceful vibe of the lake. Well, this time it's all about catching some big fish. Initially, fishing wasn't my jam, but my mates wouldn't stop going on about it, so here I am, giving it a shot. Got hooked on the idea of landing a big one. Packed my gear, some munchies, and a couple of beers. Good vibes for the day. Darn gorgeous, honestly. Feeling super proud, just your average city guy out here fishing in the countryside. Hours flew by, but then something weird happened as dusk set in. I felt this creepy chill. Usually this spot is bustling with wildlife sounds that kinda put me to mind at ease. Suddenly everything went quiet, like seriously quiet. It was like all the animals just noped out of there. It got chilly and I started feeling super weirded out. Even weirder though, I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. So, there I was at Lake Tahoe, and out of nowhere, this huge ripple pops up in the middle of the lake. Like, really far out. I'm squinting, my heart's pounding, and I'm feeling way out of my comfort zone. Whatever's making these ripples is big and deep in the lake. Then I see this shadowy thing come up from the water and go under again. The lake went from chill to creepy real quick, and then it got real quiet, like spooky quiet. There was no way I was pulling my line or making any noise. What on earth scared the fish? I brushed it off as just some fish, a beaver, or maybe a bird looking for food. Didn't want to freak myself out or anything. But yeah, I had this hunch it was something weirder. So everything went from 0 to 100 real quick when even the birds stopped chirping. I was real close to some campfire ghost story type of situation. I should have left in time, but I didn't. Lake Tahoe was suddenly giving off serious spooky vibes. Even if it creeped me out, There was something oddly cool about the whole mystery thing. Thought I was getting the hang of things, then a shadow slid over the water. I looked up and saw something I can't really describe against the dusk sky. At first I guessed it was a bird. A heron or an eagle maybe. Too big for a bird but kinda human-shaped, only it had bat-like wings. It was huge, like 5 or 6 feet tall, maybe more because those wings were big and they flapped pretty epically. Gotta say, it was kinda fascinating, and the setting sun made those leather wings look almost stunning. Man, those freaky eyes spooked me, massive, intensely glowing red. Even from far away, you could see the eerie crimson creepy vibes for sure. It was effortlessly floating over the water, and I was freaking out. A weird cocktail of fear and awe. The thing, whatever it was, didn't seem to give a damn about me. This thing was doing its own thing, totally foreign to me. It hung around for what seemed like forever, like some spooky ghost story. Then, as quickly and silently as it came, it disappeared into the dark woods. Scared the crap out of me. Headed back to shore real fast, my mind going a mile a minute. Sat there a bit trying to wrap my head around what just happened. Took me ages to get my stuff together and head home. The drive back was just me trying to process what I'd seen. Now that I'm back in my flat, the calm of the lake feels like another world. Kind of feels like I made up what I saw, but I know I didn't. So I've been digging into reports of weird stuff trying to figure out what I saw. You see, it matches up with this West Virginia legend, the Mothman. Now, I'm a city folk and this is freaking me out. Even typing this out, I'm getting the chills. Went fishing one day and ended up with a story I can't shake off. Sometimes I can't help but wonder if it's still out there. Did it move on, or was Nevada just a one-off deal for it? That November night on Lake Tahoe is forever stuck in my mind. So, Eastern State Penitentiary is no joke. Learned that the hard way. Few Halloweens ago, my college friends and I decided to freak ourselves out. Dared each other to bunk a night at this old, super creepy, supposedly haunted abandoned prison. Being at Penn State, heard a lot of messed up stories about this place. Why did I volunteer to stay? Mostly out of curiosity, some bravado, and being a skeptic. I guess I was pretty naive. My friends dropped me off at the prison just as it was getting dark. The wind was kicking up leaves as I looked at the old prison, feeling a mix of excitement and, yeah, a little fear. Walking in felt like time traveling. The whole joint had a creepy vibe. It was like I could feel the ghosts of past prisoners as I checked out each cell. Eastern State Penitentiary is huge, with all these crumbling cell blocks coming out from the center. Every cell screams history. The deeper into the night, the creepier it got, and it felt colder than most October nights. Walking around this old, falling-apart prison, I started to think about all the scary stories I'd heard. I couldn't help but think about all the crazy feelings the inmates must have had in these cells. Man, this place is seriously giving me the creeps. You can literally feel the despair and regret hanging in the air. Feels like tons of folks breathed their last in these stone and iron coffins. Creepy stuff. I kept myself busy by picturing the old days of the prison. You know, the sound of heavy doors, whispers of inmates and cops, random chain noises, and that creepy quiet when the lights go out. With each echo, I got antsier. Told myself the noises were just rats. Wind was being a drama queen too, sounding like a tormented scream through the windows. Felt watched and couldn't shake it. Kept looking into empty cells, expecting to find something or someone out of reflex. Was super nervous and finally managed to crash in the main area with my flashlight next to me. Didn't sleep long though, woke up scared as hell. The place was freezing and dead silent, and my heart was beating like crazy. Tried to look around with my flashlight, but it barely made a dent in the total darkness. Things got real spooky at this point, like something straight out of a nightmare. I was about to face something unexplainable. Then this weird smell hit me. Smelled tobacco and cheap booze in the middle of the empty jail. My flashlight started to go wonky, throwing creepy shadows everywhere. Started freezing out of nowhere, which was weird for a regular night. Heard some mumbling but couldn't make out what they were saying. My heartbeat was too loud. This weird sound was like it was far away but also super close, which freaked me out a bit. I could also hear some clinky dragging sounds, gave me the creeps, like it was some sort of old rusty chains. Everything was so messed up, had me spacing out for a moment. Then I yanked myself up and turned around suddenly, started freaking out. Saw this freaky, shadowy thing that was sort of human-shaped, had creepy glowing hollows for eyes. Realized it was a ghost. I was frozen in fear. I yelled, my voice bouncing off the stone walls. I wasn't sure if I should face the thing or bolt, but survival instinct kicked in and I ran. I felt it right behind me in the creepy prison. The whispers got louder, the clinking chains sounded closer, and the place got freezing. There was this creepy groan that echoed through the halls, like it was some kind of ghost. Managed to hide in an empty cell till morning. Morning came, regained some sanity. Buddies grilled me with questions. Mumbled some nonsense. Still struggling to process that terrifying dare. It haunts me. I often find myself waking up at night, freaking out over those sounds. No wonder my friends never took the dare. Now I'm the only one stuck knowing what's in those creepy hallways. This creeps me out to this day. Last summer I was at Joshua Tree National Park for some night photography. Ever been there? Those dark skies are something else. I work a soul-sucking day job and photography's my escape. It's like making something real in this crazy digital world. Went on this night hike with a bunch of photographers thinking I could learn a thing or two. Got fed up with the chit-chat and decided to go rogue for a bit. Found myself a unique spot, told the guide, and started setting up my gear. Done. Taking night shots is a different beast. I was messing around with my lens, tripod, and settings. But you know, it's more than just snagging a cool pic in the darkness. It's like a freaking spiritual journey for me. Started snapping away, and man, it was humbling. Taking long exposure shots lets you spend a lot of time lost in your thoughts while your camera does its work. There's this crazy silence in the desert at night that can make you feel so alone, even when your friends are just a few steps away. Crazy how something so stunning can also feel a bit spooky. The chill vibe really sucks you in, makes you think deep. When I was chilling there, something freaky started to happen. Ever felt like you're being watched or like something's there that shouldn't be? This creepy feeling was slowly creeping up on me. Right when I was going to bounce, there's this light up in the sky. Saw something in the sky, super bright and close. It was flashing different colors and gave metallic vibes. It was pretty big and quiet, like way larger and quieter than my drone. At first I thought it was some military tech, but nah, it didn't seem like it. The thing was zigzagging and speeding up or down like nothing on Earth. Freaked the hell out of me. This ain't your everyday sighting, folks. Got so sucked into watching this crazy thing, I totally forgot I could take a picture. It felt super important to snap this, to make it more than just a memory. I got my Canon ready and took a bunch of shots, even though my hands were shaking like mad. So after what felt like forever, it was gone. Poof. It didn't zoom off or anything, it just fizzled out like TV static. I stood there jaw-dropped for ages, just staring at the sky. I tried to make sense of what I saw, but no dice. Didn't see it again that night, which was both a relief and a bummer. Still, that thing was all I could think about. The remainder of the night was, well, blurry. The desert felt different after. I did get a pic of the weird thing. It's this faint, barely visible shape against the sky. Can't really make it out, but it's definitely there. Showed these pics to some buds, and folks online started chatting about UFO stuff, so thought I'd share here. I'm convinced some things can't be explained by science, and that's cool. Share, don't share. Up to you. Just hope this makes someone feel less alone, 'cause damn, that encounter made me feel super isolated. Now staring at a clear night sky feels kinda creepy but thrilling. Like there's some wild stuff up there we haven't discovered yet, or maybe we're not even supposed to know about. Thought you might find this cool.